We have my bro E Rich at the bottom. E. All right. We have Takeover Trina. We have CB.
What's good, fam?
And then we have Sammy Slated. Wow. All right. So this is it. We said we were going to do this. We're going to come live onto GenX TV and make our presence known and we're here. So finally, we oh man, I'm lost for words. Let's just tell everybody what we're going to do. Let's introduce ourselves first. I introduce you now. Everybody tell the folks who you are. That way they can get some kind of a formal or a quick introduction or understanding of who you are, because your personalities are very different. Let's start with you, Takeover.
Hi, I am Takeover Trina, and I'm just excited to be on GenX TV and with the crew. We are something else, so let's rock out, y'all.
All right. Jen Glenn.
Hi, my name is Jen Glenn, and I have a weekly show called The Culture on Stationhead, and we talk about things that go on in American culture.
Okay. CB.
What's good, fam? One of the founding members of the We Are Something Else podcast, also the front man of the band Sick and Buster, and resident Air Max head. So happy Air Max Day, everybody.
Happy Air Max Day. My bro, E Rich. We've been waiting for this one. Let him know who you are.
I don't know. Am I considered the comic relief on the pod for the crew, representing West Coast all day, LA. Other than that, yeah, happy Air Max Day, because we are a bunch of sneakerheads, so we got to throw that in there.
Amen.
Okay. Last but not least, Miss Sammy Slated.
What's good? It's Sammy Slated. All things slay, beauty, fashion. Y'all know baddie behavior for WRSE, and what's up, Texas? That's it.
All right. That's what's up. All right, so Smoque and Spiel is a movie review podcast started by me and a good friend of mine, Big Mike. Shout out to Big Mike. I don't know if you're watching or not, but it has evolved since its early during the pandemic. And this is our first time. Normally, Smoke and Spiel is a two-person panel. It's me and E kind of running it, but we got everybody here. We got the ladies. We got all the fellas. So without further delay, y'all know what movie we're here tonight for. We are reviewing the 1992. I might have to put the classic vibe on it early. Bommerang. Now I know a lot of y'all said it's been like 30, 40 plus years since Bommerang. It's been a long time, but let's just talk about it. We're here, right? This is a movie. This is me and E. You're gonna see me and E. We talk about this all the time. So, Bommerang, 1992, American romantic comedy film directed by Reginald Hudlin. The film stars Eddie Murphy as Marcus Graham, a hotshot advertising executive who always happens to be an insatiable womanizer and a male chauvinist. When he meets his new boss, Jacqueline Breuer, Robin Givens, Marcus discovers that she is essentially a female version of himself, and he realizes he is receiving the same treatment that he delivers to others. The film also, well, let me tell you, it's an all-star cast in this movie. Let's go ahead and put this all-star cast up. So the movie stars also Halle Berry, David Alan Grier, Martin Lawrence, Grace Jones, Eartha Kitt, Chris Rock, John Witherspoon, B.B. Drake, Melvin Van Peebles, Tisha Campbell. Yeah, and our friend, wait a minute, Joffrey Holder. So y'all don't know who's Joffrey Holder. If you ever seen the movie Annie, and I believe he was also a Broadway star too. So all-star cast. So before we even get to the main characters, let's talk about some of the work that like Grace Jones has done. So Grace Jones, who plays Strange in a movie, right? She's a pivotal character in which Marcus realizes certain things about Jacqueline, correct? But she's also comic relief, right? So just give you this early takes on the character Strange. I'm going to say she's funny. Like she has one of the funniest scenes in the movie. Thoughts, take over.
So Strange, she's definitely a breakout star of the movie. And so, Grace Jones, she definitely brought it in her role. Her character is one that, she is the new face of the cosmetics line, and she was buck wild. She was no holds bar, and she was just ready to be the next face for the next generation. So she was really definitely owning her own and confidence. She definitely had that.
Okay. Jen Glenn takes on Strange.
Okay, so I love Strange. She was larger than life. She had an excellent body. When I rewatched the movie, I was like, oh my God, that was Naomi Campbell before Naomi Campbell. And I'm pretty sure she was bipolar.
Very much so. Okay. Now, so CB has never seen this, and we gave CB the homework a couple years ago to watch this movie. So I'm interested on every take that CB has. I'm very interested. CB, your take on Strange.
Strange was hilarious. And that just alpha energy that she exuded, I thought like makes the character stand out for sure. So you really could not have had this movie and be as enjoyable and as good as it was without that character and without the performance that Grace Jones put on.
Okay. Sammy.
Dang.
Also Strange.
I love Strange. She owned the room whenever she came into a scene. That's my type of girl. I love that. Love that she like stood on what she wanted, and she was direct and blunt. Like, oh, I want this. This is what's gonna go down. And they knew they had to walk on eggshells with Strange. Like they had to change up some things to make sure that she would be in alignment for them. So I like that she changed the temperature of the room.
Yeah,
absolutely. All right, E.
All I got to say is BIRTH. That, and then she hit him with the notebook. And listen, bro, that is the funniest scene. She hit him with the eye. He was just
and the ponytail in the face.
Exactly. Listen, she definitely mastered that role. You almost think that she wasn't even playing a role. That almost seemed like it was almost that's her personality, and it just fit right in with the movie.
Yeah. All right, how would y'all feel if y'all in this marketing meeting to figure out, the scent of what this new Strange or this new line is going to be, because they hadn't had a name at this point, and the model, who the perfume is named after, takes her panties off and just rubs them in your face and says, "This is what the scent that I want." We have to go through everybody. CB.
I honestly don't know how I'd react in real life. Like, I ideally I would want to say that I would play it cool. It wouldn't interrupt the meeting too much, but y'all know me, and my mind is always in the gutter. So I would have a really hard time keeping it together. It would be really, really tough to keep it together.
Okay. All right. And real quick, what's the age range of Strange? How old do you think she is?
During the movie, I'm thinking she's probably late 30s.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking late 30s, maybe early 40s.
Yeah.
Okay. Lady Eloise. Now, Lady Eloise is her line. It's her products, and they're doing a transition from the elder statesman passing on to Strange. So, quick thoughts on Lady Eloise. Sammy, what's your thoughts on Lady Eloise?
I'm gonna get into like who I thought were villains in the movie, but Lady Eloise was definitely one of the villains. But I appreciated her being the villain, because usually in movies you see where the guy is the boss and he gets what he wants because he's the boss. So I like to see a woman in charge she wasn't even really in charge, but acting like she was in charge, getting what she wanted. Because Lady Eloise.
Okay. Thoughts on Lady Eloise?
Listen, man, it was just a cougar trying to, scratch a little itch. That's all it was, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, and unfortunately, my man Marcus got caught up in that. He should have listened to the butler when he was laughing. He should have knew something was up.
Okay. All right. Take over, Lady Eloise.
I mean, she was definitely the epitome of grace and style, but she knew how to command the room especially with the men. And she did that with Marcus. And so, I definitely think she had the men definitely back in her day.
Okay. Jen, Lady Eloise.
You know, she was so funny to me. And like her and Grace Jones and their bodies. Did you see the body on Eartha Kitt? I mean, muscle.
That scene with Marcus, like she was real toned up in that.
Yeah, I mean, she was muscle. And she really gave me some good tips on how to eat asparagus. Like that's how I will be eating asparagus from now on.
That's how you have to. So yeah, I'm thinking Lady Eloise was. She had first of all, Eartha Kitt did not like the character of Lady Eloise. I don't know if y'all knew that. They had to change a lot. What we saw was them toning down Lady Eloise because she was the one that they wanted, but she read the script, and if you know, she was the first Black Catwoman, and a bunch of other stuff that she paved the way in. That's not her thing. Like it was out of her comfort zone. So what we got as Lady Eloise is what she had agreed to, not what they originally wrote. I think she plays a very early part of the movie where you just see how Marcus isn't really thinking with the right head, right? He's using the wrong head to think and to leverage himself in play of this ad agency, and he doesn't see it coming, right? But she sees that. She sees his weakness. She knows what he wants, and she uses him. So yeah, shout out to Lady Eloise. I put her in probably about 70s. They played her as about 70s. Okay. We're doing a supporting cast real quick because we're going to spend a lot of time on the other three, the main ones. Let's break down. We don't have to do. Well, you can do Nasty Nelson. Nasty Nelson he doesn't have any talent, right? From what I've seen, he doesn't have talent. Like he's nasty as hell, right? Everything is sexual, and it doesn't make sense. You saw that with the commercial. So. Thoughts on Nasty? We can just spend like 20 seconds or less. Take over.
I actually liked the kissable ad that he had in the beginning of the movie for the lipstick. You know, and he was fun. He was fun energy. He was all about creativity and pushing, you know, beyond the mark, especially during that time, you know. But he brought, you know, a fun energy. And so I liked him. He's one of my low-key favorite characters.
Okay. Jen?
I loved his energy. And every time I look at him, if you look him up, I just want to drink a 7-Up. Because he did a whole series of 7-Up commercials. Yeah, y'all YouTube that.
Yeah. Speaking of which, just found out we are actually live on GenX TV's YouTube as well. So we want to test out the comments. So if anybody has a comment, if you're watching through YouTube, just type it in there and we'll see if it pops up and see how interactive we can be. But CB, Nasty Nelson.
My man lives up to the name. When Marcus was caught in a big moment of weakness, you know, gives my man full reign to do whatever he wants. We knew what was coming, and we knew that it was a train wreck, and we just couldn't turn our head away. So, you know, definitely a hilarious character in the movie, and definitely added to, you know, just the depth of the whole movie.
All right. Nasty Nelson.
Listen, I'll go ahead. I'll be the one to say it because, listen, everybody had a Nasty Nelson in their job that would be in a meeting. And unfortunately, nowadays, you know, there's not. I don't know if there's any more Nasty Nelsons out there in the job because HR is pretty strict nowadays. And you can't say a lot of things, but there was always one in there, and you knew who he was, and you knew you would catch some of those sly comments. He definitely would lighten meetings up when they were boring or if something needed to go down. So for sure.
Okay. Sammy, Nasty Nelson.
Nasty Nelson was a mess, child. But he definitely kept me laughing. That commercial he did with Strange was insane. I was just like, okay, well, you know, Nasty Nelson did the nasty and threw it together.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay. That's just, I mean, that's what he's known for. Boney T, played by Chris Rock, who's got to be all about Nasty Nelson. I'm gonna put in his 60s as well. Boney T is probably a teenager, right? Probably 19, 20. This is his probably first decent job that's not fast food oriented, right? And yeah, he provides an undertone of comedy relief throughout the whole movie because his name is just always made. He's never on camera a lot, but his name is always coming up because he's always into something. I think we all know a Boney T. Yeah, because he has some pivotal parts in it. Takeover, thoughts on Boney T.
I mean, how could you not like Boney T? He was in everyone's business. He knew all the office gossip. And one thing about him, he was definitely unprofessional, but he was like, okay, I'm going to, talk to and move and shake with who I need to, talk to, which was Marcus, and see if I can work my way up. But he was unprofessional.
Absolutely. Reading people's mail and stuff. CB.
Yeah. He was one of those dudes that like we've all had, a Boney T at our job as well. A young buck who is trying to climb up the corporate ladder one way or another, and being in everyone else's business is one way to do that. But this was it was one of those roles, those early Chris Rock roles where it's like, yo, this is him. You know what I mean? Like it's basically just an extension of his own personality and the character. And he was hilarious. You know what I mean?
Got you. Okay. Jen, Boney T.
Okay, so in the movie, of course, Boney T is funny, but I think they also used him as like a character that lets you know what was going on with Marcus behind the scenes. So the same way that Jacqueline was telling their sexual business and all of the females knew, Marcus would do the same thing to the females that he would mess with at work. And so Boney T let us in on the fact that Marcus was doing those things. So it kind of let you know that Jacqueline wasn't just what was happening to Marcus wasn't happening out of the blue or just to be mean. Marcus was just getting back what he had been putting out that whole time.
Got you. Okay. E?
I mean, I think we crossed our T's, pun intended, on Boney T. But listen, shout out to the designers of like a lot, like during that time, because this was 92. That shirt he had on was a big kind of like culture, kind of hip hop culture with the U-Man sweater that he has on. And I think a lot of what we kind of miss with this is the actual artist clothing and how we were setting the trends even back then of a lot of stuff that were to come later on in other movies.
Okay. Sammy?
I was actually looking for some of those sweaters this winter, but okay. Boney T had the T, and he definitely like transferred Marcus's business over to the ladies. And I'm sure we're gonna get to like that conversation that the ladies had, and Boney T throwing his extra 2 cents in.
All right. So as we one more person, I can't leave her out. Let's talk about Tisha Campbell as Yvonne. Right. Tisha Campbell is probably the elder statesman out of all of these actors in this movie at this point too, because Tisha Campbell's been around forever. And the fact that she kind of played Wilson from Home Improvement, like she didn't move from behind the fence. She stayed there. She had 3 maybe hilarious scenes, and they all interacted with Marcus and some lady. But I think her character, she definitely was done wrong. And the fact is, he didn't even dog her out. Like they didn't even sleep together. He just said they had a whack night and he never went back because it was all her fault, right? So let's talk about Yvonne, who's probably, I don't even think Yvonne's 30 yet. I think she's just real. She was close to comfort for Marcus. He tried it, didn't work, and she's just scorned because she likes Marcus. But so thoughts on Yvonne and how funny was her character? We'll start with you, take over.
So she was definitely, I think, one of the funniest. Like you said, she had 3 different scenes, right? And every time she knew exactly when Marcus was going to have a woman over, and her with the signs, yoo-hoo, girlfriend. I mean, classic. She played that role perfect. And the part when he said, I'll call your probation officer, yeah, he met his match with Yvonne.
It's horrible. All right. And go ahead, Jen.
Oh, sorry. Did you think? See, I think that they did sleep together.
Really? But I think they had said in the movie that he
said that they had a whack night, but that doesn't mean that they didn't sleep together.
She didn't she say it though? She's like, but did she tell Robin Givens, Jacqueline, that it wasn't physical? I thought she had said that they didn't. She had confirmed it.
I'm gonna have to look it up again. Yeah, I just assumed that they slept together, and it didn't say like explicitly that they did not. But yeah, I love Tisha Campbell and everything. When you give her a role where she can just like say whatever off the top of her head, she's really, really good at that.
Yeah, CB.
Nah, she's hilarious. And I think at least some of us on the panel would know this, but at the 9 to 5 that me and Kaleo worked together, one year for Halloween, we did a group costume where we were Home Improvement and Kaleo was Wilson. So, you know, it is funny because that was essentially Tisha Campbell's character. You know what I mean? So she's hilarious. And like she was perfect for that role. Absolutely perfect.
Even tried to come to Marcus's aid when his heart was broken. Go ahead, E, talk about it.
Yeah, you know, through their differences, she saw that he was hurting from across the way, and you know, she made the comment like, you know, I know I shouldn't, you know, I feel a certain way, you know, but I don't like to see you, you know, hurting this bad. And she offered, you know, if he would like to come over for a cup of coffee. And one of the greatest lines ever of a response was, "Not even if Jesus was pouring." That. Oh my God! Listen, that's a heavy response to tell somebody. That's how you know that you truly do not mess with them. If that is the response when they kindly offered you probably a little bit more than some coffee, but you know what I'm saying. What Yvonne was up to. So, yeah, great scene though.
But do you remember when she had the rollers in her hair?
Yeah.
You try to seduce with the rollers in your hair? Oh,
she didn't care.
No dude ever turned down something just because the rollers was in the air. Jen, let's get that out the way right now.
Some real shit.
Let's close out with Yvonne, and then we can get going on the main cast.
I liked Yvonne. She was just the girl's girl trying to help the girls out, you know. She also wanted a piece of that pie. Why? Because she saw. So
all right. So as we get ready to transition, let's talk about the main characters. Let's talk about real quick. So those who are new to We Are Something Else, one of our partners that we have partnered up with, DC Shy Pie. We like to support Black-owned businesses, hence GenX TV, Black-owned app. So here we are, Black-owned business, DC Shy Pie. Look, save 10%, WRSE 10. Go to the DC Shy Pie, go to Instagram, and you can order from there. They ship everywhere. But Black-owned Chicago-style deep dish pizza based out of the DMV. Shout out to Grant. Shout out to Margaret. All the wonderful people at DC.
Are you trying to imply that I hit it? Oh no, I see what
Marcus, darling.
Hey, how you doing, Lady Eloise?
I don't have any panties on.
Lady Eloise, we have a meeting. Can we just please go?
All right, so released July 1st, 1992. The movie runs 117 minutes. The budget was $42 million. Box office success of $131 million. So first all-black cast and crew. Most expensive movie, but all-black cast and crew. Again, $40 million made 141. Did I say 141? 131, sorry. Let's talk about it. So, Bommerang. Eddie Murphy, who plays Marcus Graham, who's supposed to be somewhat of a player, right? But this guy in the movie gets played by two women. Two, Lady Eloise and Jacqueline. So some player he is, but let's break it down. I got Marcus no older than 34. All right. Ladies man. He's great at his job, right? Because he is the assistant director of Chantress, wherever he works at. And he obviously thought that he was getting ready to get the director role by Lady Eloise. Again, smart, super smart brother, quick on his feet. Can't anybody quick on his feet. Let me give you an example why he's quick on his feet. He saw Leela Roshan's character, Christy. He saw Christy coming from a mile away with a dog, and he knew he needed to go buy a leash. Game was that quick on his feet. This dude is willing to break all HR protocols because he's probably slept with half the girls in the commercials, and he's definitely going after Angela. I mean, Jacqueline, right? So super successful in his career. Yeah. So let's talk about Marcus. Your thoughts on Marcus takeover? Age? What age do you put him at? And yeah, your notes on Marcus.
Yeah, I give him around 34, 35 as well. And Marcus, I mean, what can you say? He was a playboy. He was the one out of the friend group. They looked up to him. They knew like, okay, he's the ladies' man. You know, he gets all the women. But same token, he was uber successful. He had style, the way he dressed. I mean, his suits, top notch. Even his, you know, his house, his home, designed perfectly. It was, you know, laid out.
That house was dope. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, you know, he was like the, you know, a good catch, but he was definitely a womanizer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he wasn't looking to settle down at all. He wasn't looking for that. Jen, take on Marcus. What age would you put him at?
I think I would put Marcus at 35. And you remember the first like 2 minutes of the movie let you know everything you needed to know about Marcus and who he was in his life. You could tell walking through, they were following him through to his office. He was a big wig. He was a ladies' man, and he very much has a lot of charisma. Marcus was also manipulative. Do you remember at the table when he was talking to his friends, Gerard and Tyler, and he was telling them that he pays attention to women? Mm-hmm. So that's how he can manipulate, because he really pays attention to women. And yeah, he met his match in Jacqueline.
He fell hard for Jacqueline.
Yeah.
CB, what's your take on Marcus' age and notes?
I mean, personality-wise, he could have been anywhere from I think the character would have been in the mid-30s. I think that makes sense. And I mean, reminds me of some people that I know. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things where I think we've all known a homie or two that, you know, they knew their way around, but then they also fell hard maybe, you know, a couple of times. And that should, as an innocent bystander, you know, being, you know, potentially Gerard or Tyler, like, it's like, yo, what just happened? Like, this is crazy. So, you know, I think that Eddie Murphy was also perfect in the role. You know what I mean? He couldn't miss during this period of time. And so
yeah, that's true.
He played the role perfectly, man.
Okay. Sammy?
All right, first and foremost, y'all know how I feel about people named Marcus. So that's off jump. As soon as we talking about a Marcus, I'm like, he about to do some fuck shit. You know, that is immediately where my mind went. So I already knew what type of game Marcus was on. Marcus. I was already there with him. I would like to say, because, you know, I'm a part of the, you know, a little bit younger generation. So I'm introduced to a more older, mature Eddie. Watching him in this role, he was very attractive. Like, he really fit into it. And it was surprising to just, you know, feel that way about Eddie. But yeah, Marcus was a big wig, a player, you know, a Marcus in my dictionary.
Go ahead, bro. Marcus.
You know, just probably young 30s. You know, like you said, not ready to settle down. Just never really had any interest on settling down. And probably got a lot of things handed to him because, like I said, he definitely worked hard. But at the same time, like I said, he was a ladies' man, and they flocked to him, and you know he used what he knew best. He kind of gave us also a little insight, based upon his conversation with Eartha Kitt's. He was like, "Yo, you know, I remember my mom, you know, using your product." So understanding that if most mama's boys knows kind of the ins and outs and some of the little secrets, you know what I'm saying, to use that, you know, for our advantage, if you will, with the ladies. So, you know, he definitely used what he had to. But oddly enough, I think I like the fact that he was, it showed the honesty in that even though he was that type of person, he was who he was to his friends, both good and bad. And I think that was good that they showed that side, because there's always the element of the player always being just the bad guy, but there was some elements of feelings that he had to grow throughout. He grew up. I mean, that's, you know, early 30s. He was still growing through that stage.
Right. I also have him as shallow, like super shallow. Obviously, the checking the feet thing, right? Like, I mean, but that was, why didn't he check the feet first? Like, go ahead.
I just have something to say. It was winter time, and I'm gonna stand for my girl, because we don't get our feet done too often in the winter. We wearing boots, the feet is covered up. So I'm just gonna take that moment for her. It was winter, you know. The feet not always done.
Okay. But she had hammer time.
Look, she might have been through something in the fall. She might have been through something in the fall, worked her way to the winter, and then was gonna grow back in the spring. So
okay, now let's talk about Christy. She ties into this too. She's played by Lela Rochon. Again, Lela Rochon had been around for that Sunshine. Well, she made another appearance in Harlem Nights. But to me, I used to always get Lela Rochon and Robin Givens mixed up. Just there was always a similarity to me. I could just never figure them out. But anyways, Lela Rochon plays Christy, who is just very happy-go-lucky, right? Just very happy-go-lucky. Marcus sees her coming from a mile away. She doesn't see Marcus coming at all, right? And he invites her over. I'm assuming it had to be the same night after he got the leash for $20. He invites her over the same night and spits the game and gets it the same night, the first night. Because first of all, she came over looking for the dog. The dog wasn't there. She even had her first interaction with Yvonne. It still didn't work on her. It was the sad story that he told her. He up at the church. He said because he had a bad feeling and he caught his fiance Deborah on the floor with his best man and the priest. He knows. He read the room.
Listen, I will say this though. Shout out to her character. Shout out to Christy, because fellas, if you ever get a text message or anything that says you got a gold star, you know why. Gold star.
But the look on his face when she said gold star for Marcus, and he was like, "Oh God, really?" It was easy. It was easy, and then he even manipulated it to take her back to her place. Played it just right, but he was shallow, right? Okay. Let's dive into. Let's go ahead and let's do Tyler. Let's do Tyler, played by Martin Lawrence. He's the sidekick, the comic relief sidekick who probably, I think he's younger than Marcus and Gerard, right? I feel like Tyler is probably 28, 29, and he's probably in the mailroom of Boney T, right? But maybe not. Maybe because they all dress nice, which this whole cast they were executives. So maybe he worked his way out of the mailroom. Maybe he's just front line of whatever kind of assistant there is. And who knows? But he's not 30 yet. He wants to be a player. He wants to be like Marcus, but he's more of a dog, right? He ain't gonna he ain't gonna go through all the work that Marcus did, buying the leash and all that. He gonna go straight up to you and spit some real rough game at you. If you fall for it, you fall for it, and then he out. I don't feel like a love bone kind of coming from him. But thoughts on Tyler? Go ahead, start with you. Take over.
One thing that stood out about Tyler, that character, is he was woke. You know, he was very conscious.
He was the early stages of woke.
Yeah, definitely. So, you know, and I think that he was making good money. I don't think he was obviously Marcus's level, but remember he was trying to buy the jacket that was $1,800. But he was definitely one where, you know, I think he looked up to Marcus and he wanted to kind of, you know, be that player. He definitely didn't have the smoothness in him.
Okay. Jen?
I think Marcus was a good guy that was trying to be the bad guy, thinking that that's what girls wanted. Like, unless he grew up like really rough and hood, like, you know, it just wasn't going to work. And it did not work for him. But the thing I noticed about Marcus was that he was that paranoid black dude that always thought everything was happening because he was black. But because in that restaurant, he was saying that lady was saying that to him because about the asparagus tips, because he was black. But I'm looking in the restaurant and I'm like, 90% of the people in the restaurant are black. She just happened to be a white waitress. But then it turns out, you know, he's not so paranoid when they go into the store, the clothing store, and people are being racist against him. So I can see how that would be like what black people with upper mobility would have been like in the 90s.
Yeah. Scarlet's Jungle Buddies. CB, thoughts on Tyler?
Definitely came off as being a bit younger and looking up. And Jen, I echo some of those same sentiments. Definitely felt like the character had a little bit more depth to him than he wanted to put off. You know what I mean? Wanted to, you know, kind of had like the hard facade, you know. But you know, because
good point, because he's definitely very sentimental. He got his boys.
Yeah, like, you know, he had an emotional scene, and you know, I like that character is very, very funny to me because I also know some people in real life that are, you know, very much like that. So
we all know it. Tyler, Sammy, Tyler.
Did Tyler ever get some? Because that scene where they was working out, they was talking. And they were like, it's been since such and such or something. And I'm thinking back and I'm like, we've never seen Tyler with a woman. We've never, you know,
in the 90s.
Had a scene.
He hooked up with he hooked up with the lady that got her stitches out.
Caught. But yeah, I'm definitely echoing behind Jen and CB. He had like where he wanted to be a player, but it just sometimes it's not in you. Everybody ain't got the gift of gab, and it is what it is.
Okay. E.
I think Tyler was probably smashing kind of like somebody at the job, but like on some low end, you know what I mean? Like on the side, so that Marcus didn't know because he didn't want to get clowned by Marcus because he saw Marcus's level of females, right? But no, Tyler is he's the comedy, you know, he's the comic relief, but also like you said, he's the one that had the moment where Tyler just said whatever came to mind, right? And if it hurt you, if it made you feel whatever type of way, he just said it. But he also had good intentions because those were his boys. So like he felt like I can say anything because you my boys, and good, bad, or indifferent, we still gonna rock. And you know, in that moment, he was just, you know, when he told him just, you know, look at him, just assed out, just you just what you done did. Like he automatically knew. Without having so much to say, he automatically knew something was up, right? And everybody kind of has that one friend in the crew, and Tyler played a good role because it broke up too much of like a facade of like you're in a corporate world and you don't have that one person that can, you know, makes everybody laugh, that takes shit
in
serious.
the corporate world and have that kind of personality
for sure.
It gave you all types of personalities of corporate world. All right, so as a good transition, as Tyler always keeping it real, we'll go from Tyler to Gerard. But here's something real. When Tyler had to check Gerard.
Firstly, if I date somebody that fine, I wait 8 or 9 months. You can wait 8 or 9 years, and you would never have no woman that fine. You well boy. But at least my lady didn't leave me for no damn guardian angel. Why you do that, man? Why you go that far? I done fucked them up, but they do that karate shit. Come on, man, come on. Let's you go get a heart attack. Okay, so breathe. Let the brother relax, man. All right, man. All right, I just play. I just play.
Bro. It's got to be top 3 lines in that movie delivered by Martin and David Allen, back to back hilarious lines. Now, if y'all don't know who the Guardian Angels are, just do some research. They really based out of New York, and they really protect the transit systems up there. Because I think a kid was murdered, and then so now I believe that was a story of Guardian Angels. But then for David Allen Greer to redeliver that line. Okay, so let's talk about Gerard, right? So obviously Gerard is the butt of the jokes, just by that. Because one, I got Gerard probably older than Marcus. I just think, but he's we don't know. Are we assuming that they all work at the same marketing firm, or they just work in the same area?
They work for that same cosmetics company.
They were at the party because they were all at the lady at the Strange party. Okay. Mm-hmm. I feel like he was super smart. Gerard is super smart. He's the book guy, he's the nerd guy, corny but cool, right? You know, he ain't no dapper dresser because Angela definitely checked him on that first night. She was like, "Oh, you look neat." Like he'll put together some khakis and he'll have like the blazer with like the patches on the arms and stuff like that. But he gonna be a real friend to you, right? He's probably the long-term relationship guy, right? He's probably the guy who falls in love easily and just has long-term relationships. Like he doesn't have the dog bone in him. Like that's just not his thing, right? Because he kind of really likes Angela, but the only reason why he even likes Angela is because Marcus just kind of forced them two together, right? Who knows if he would actually gone after her if Marcus hadn't kind of shooed them on each other. And I feel like he gets dumped a lot, right? He probably had a couple long-term relationships, but the other ones that didn't really work out, he's been dumped a lot. So your take on Gerard. We'll start with you, Sammy, and work our way up.
Oh, that's crazy. I actually like Gerard. He was my favorite. I like the corny, quiet little, I don't know how to explain it, but he definitely got the short end of the stick. Unfortunately, he just wanted to be loved. Send Gerard my way. I don't know. Shit. Gerard should have ended up with the baddie. They should if they do a sequel, have Gerard end up with a baddie. He deserves it. He deserves it. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. He definitely gonna treat her right, and he did what he needed to do.
Just because he gonna treat her right don't mean she gonna treat him right. So let's not put that out.
And I definitely got to take about Jacqueline too. So just go ahead.
Oh, this is okay. We're about to get into all of that. Thoughts on Gerard?
I think Gerard is the same age as Marcus. I think that he's just that, different upbringing. Clearly, we see his folks. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. That I think us seeing his parents can identify why he's exactly why he is the way he is, right? And why he's so sedity, because that was that private school that they sent him to. So, but I think again, character analysis of his, is that he had to be the vulnerable one, right? So you had the player, so you had to have the opposite, right? The one that was probably not looking, found something, and then of course, without kind of telling too much of the storyline, but they had their interaction. He was like, well, why'd you have to pick her, right? Because in that moment he felt like maybe I found my one, and Marcus had to kind of die on the sword and just be like, shit, I didn't even know it was gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? So but doesn't hold it against him. It's kind of a bro moment. And but I will say this though, I think Gerard taught Marcus a lot in the movie for like the things that he was going through.
That's a really good point. It's a really good point. CB.
I agree with E. I believe that Gerard and Marcus were around. They were probably the same age, around the same age. Just Marcus had the swag. You know what I mean? So you're going to carry maybe a younger perceived energy with that. But I think that, just different walks of life. And Gerard brought a different type of emotion to the movie, right? Because it's different from like the type of emotion that Tyler showed, for the homies. It also still different from like even the feelings that Marcus, showed towards Jacqueline. It was just, a different spin, a different view on it. And I think that there are, there's probably some homies that could relate to, having a girl come between. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Jen?
I think they were the same age, probably around 35. But Gerard, had no game. And he was probably the quintessential black nerd, a blurred. But not just that. I don't think when he found out about Angela and Marcus, I don't think he was so much concerned about the fact that he lost Angela. I think he was concerned about the fact that Marcus wasn't good enough for Angela. And let me tell you why I think that. Because I think he really cared for Angela, but I don't think he really loved her because I think he was gay. Because he rattled off that number 978 DICK way too fast for me.
I didn't want to put that in my notes. I actually thought that too. I was like, yo, what if his character is gay?
Yeah, because nobody would be that uncomfortable around women when you want women.
Oh, no. Listen, and not to cut you off, but if you look at it, right, his parents were the outgoing, the old school couple that just said whatever. He was sheltered away from probably how everybody else was probably like brought up. The fact that he didn't have game is because he didn't have that, right? He didn't have somebody to be like his pops probably telling him how to spit game was the fact that his mama just was one of those kind of old school women that his daddy liked. You know what I'm saying? In that moment, Gerard, I don't think he was gay because if you look at his connection with Angela, was somebody truly who saw him for the cultured person that he was outside of, like you said, he was a nerd. She was a nerd as well in her own right. And I think that's what their connection was. I don't think he was gay. I can't let my boy go out like that. Like Gerard can't be gay with the way that he made sure that Angela felt the way that she felt when they were with each other. Because even though that was that one moment, you look at how that went. You know what I'm saying? Like,
how did they feel? I mean, they were sitting in her apartment. He couldn't even order food, and he couldn't get out of there fast enough.
Because that
there
was
are
the
guys
first
like
time
that.
But yeah, listen,
it took him a minute to leave after he got that smooch. You know what I mean?
Like
He
I
came back to the door.
Like,
he was even giving the kiss though.
But listen, that was Gerard's first time probably being with that type of caliber of female. So he didn't know how to act. Remember his dad said that looked like one of Marcus's girls, or the mama said that
like one of Marcus' girls. So quick, here's a question to the ladies. Like the way he ended the night, he was like he made it a moment. He was like, all right, so now it's time for the kiss goodnight. Like, how is that a corny move just to even bring it up, or would you want somebody just to go to make the move, or do you subject line?
Ask that one over there who said she was wanting Gerard. Ask that one over there.
978 DICK. But let's go ahead. Let's answer the question.
They might have had a catchy lingo, and that's why he remembered. Please.
Yeah, I remembered it. So hey,
that's what I'm saying. It might have been catchy, and that's why he remembered. It would depend on the man. If he was like nerdy like Gerard and he said some stuff like that, I was just like, oh, you kind of cute, Okay, we'll brush it out. But if it's a man like Marcus and I know you don't do stuff like this, don't be sitting here playing with me.
Okay. Jen, thoughts?
What about
at the end of the night, they just the guy you with just brings it up like, all right, let's get the kiss out the way.
He could say that, but then go in for the kiss. Like, you can't say that and then you end up kissing my face or my nose, or you know what I'm saying? Yeah, no.
All right.
Y'all can't have the awkward bump, Jen. Like
the simple fact that he couldn't order food.
2 hours
later, that he couldn't order food. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm good. Oh, we friends now.
I need a counter on how many times Jem brings up the fact that this motherfucker couldn't order food.
So he got friend zoned on the first date. That's probably what it was. And just like, yeah, I can't fuck with this guy.
Yeah.
All right, take over. Thoughts on Gerard, and then you can answer the question.
I think that Gerard was the quintessential good guy. You know how you will hear the term "good guys finish last." That was his character in a nutshell. And so all of the men were different, and so he was just that nice, sheltered, kind of quiet but awkward, smart but awkward man. And so I don't think he was gay. And when it came to the kiss, I think, again, he was just, I don't think he had a lot of experience with women. And what Erich said, I don't think he ever had a woman, that was that beautiful to him. And so, he was nervous. He was uncomfortable. So I'll give him that much.
Okay. All right. Before we dissect the two ladies that are left, let's pay some bills.
Welcome to D-Cup Customs, the most creative crafter in these streets. At the heart of the magic is Doreen. If you can dream it, she can create it. Need a one-of-a-kind piece for your business, your project, or even just your ego? We got you. And it's not just tumblers either. We have shot glasses, pens, mugs, badge reels. Basically, if it holds ink or drinks, we do it. And Doreen, she made me a custom Black Panther cup. I was drinking out of it and somebody wanted it so bad, they offered to buy it from me right then. And Doreen looked at me and did this.
Take it, fool. Turn down that good money.
Look at this piece. It's gonna be amazing when it's done. But we don't just do ink and glitter. We also do custom vinyl. So again, if you can think of it, she can do it. We also love working with our guys, and we can't wait to work with you. So if you use the code WRSE15, you will get 15% off your order. Thanks. See you soon.
Shout out to Demetri has a dope ass commercial. Shout out to our wonderful partners at D-Cup Customs. Go there and save 15%. WRC.
I know. Where'd you get the mushroom shirt? I got to know. Well, the secret is you got to coordinate. Most people don't coordinate. So you got to coordinate. Yes, that's what.
All right. Jacqueline, I got her early 30s, career oriented, great at her job because she's the director. She took over. She's taking over the whole merger. She's not in a relationship. She is Marcus, right? She's not in a relationships. She probably gets men probably throw themselves at her all the time. And so she just weeds through the traffic, figure out which one she wants. I'm really not sure if she was ever really into Marcus. I think maybe position wise, it made sense. He's an executive. He's right there. He makes money. He's got a good job. He's got a good place. Like, I think it just made sense for her for that move, but I don't know if she was ever really into Marcus. Like, she never showed signs that she was into him until he wasn't into her. So think about that. Like, and Marcus shows his cards early when he sees Jacqueline. He puts it all out there. Like, he falls quick and like, or whatever. And she can't keep her mouth shut. So this is another reason why it makes me think she's not really into Marcus, because somebody you're really into, are you going? And first of all, you're the damn director. You are the boss, and you telling your business and somebody else's business to all the whole staff. All these HR violations in this movie. Yeah, she got loose lips, and she definitely knows what Marcus wants, and she plays that to her advantage. And she is the one who puppeteers and navigates when Marcus actually is going to when the pool is going to be cashed in. Boney T's pool is going to be cashed in. It's not Marcus. Marcus has no control in that situation. So thoughts, takeover on Jacqueline.
So, I mean, Jacqueline, her character, whether you loved or hated her character, first of all, can we talk about her suits, her outfits throughout the entire movie? I mean, bad, okay? She wore every outfit. It was, fitting, very fitting. And it added to the character of her class, her style, her sophistication, right? But she was the mirror image of Marcus and maybe times 10 a little bit, right? So she was him, to the next level, in my opinion. And, she definitely didn't want to be tied down. She's working her way up in the career. She's landed this new role. So in my opinion, she was having fun. I don't think she, had any feelings for him. She was just having fun, going with the flow. And, she wanted her freedom. And she told him, like, hey, in so many words, I'm a man eater. So be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
All right, Jacqueline.
I think Jacqueline was probably in her late 30s, early 40s. Because, she was in a higher position than Marcus. And I think she had been in this industry for a little while longer. She was everything. She was smart. She was beautiful. She was a player. And I think Jacqueline was actually the boomerang in the movie. She was the thing that got thrown out and that hit Marcus in the face to show him who he really was. And y'all, this was the early 90s. This was before we knew exactly what sexual harassment really was. It was before it was in the zeitgeist. So she actually, not only did she sexually harass Marcus in certain ways, she knew about Lady Eloise doing that. And she was telling Strange that so that hopefully Marcus would sleep with her so that they can get the deal done. Because remember, Marcus didn't just sleep with Lady Eloise just to sleep with her. He was sleeping with Lady Eloise to try to advance his career.
Right. Right.
So, that their whole workplace ethics were just crazy.
You could smoke this back then.
That's what I think about Jacqueline. She was the boomerang.
All right. CB, Jacqueline.
Well, first thing, bad. Definitely, I don't think she was older than Marcus. I put her in the same age range, but the alpha personality, you know what I mean? That's something I think that when you have a beautiful woman that has an alpha personality, that's something that it's magnetic, right? And Marcus, it happens to the best of us, man. Like,
yeah, okay.
People think they know how to act right, and and then walked in, right? And it's funny, I'm not taking any of the HR stuff too seriously because this shit is a movie and it's funny, but this stuff's wild going back in the day. Like your boss being the one that's making the move, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But shout out to Robin Givens, man.
All right. E, thoughts on Jacqueline?
I mean, everybody pretty much kind of. I think it's a trick bag in the sense that she kind of can be in all of these kind of scenarios. I do think she's probably the same age as Marcus. I think she just got to the top of that ladder somewhere because she was coming from another industry or once she got over there. But the thing about it is, she told him, we're just having fun. Don't take it serious. And he got caught up in his feelings. And I think that's where all of this kind of became, where he felt like, well, because she's bad and I'm bad and we look good together, why not? She was like, that's not what I'm, about. And, listen, anytime they drop $200 on the dresser because
Jesus, yeah. Bro, she used Marcus at every turn that she could.
Listen, dropping $200 on the dresser is diabolical as a female to a male.
God damn, leave me $200, please. Jesus.
Bro, Marcus showed his whole hand, after he finally got it, calling her baby, in the office, this dude didn't care. He was so sprung. He thought he could change her, and we'll see. Sammy, thoughts on Jacqueline?
I'm about to flip the whole lens because I think we just looking at Jacqueline a little wrong. She's not the villain that everybody thinks she is. I do think she genuinely liked Marcus. Marcus started to change, and she stated that, like, when at the end, when shit was going down and she made her move, she was like, hey, like, you were this confident man, you were this, like, you took the rooms, you did this, and that's what I was attracted to. So then he started getting soft on her, and she was like, oh, I don't want it no more. So I think she genuinely did like him, and he switched up and got soft, and then it changed. And then I also think y'all characterizing her a little, just because she bad and she was smart and she was an alpha female does not mean she was a player and that men threw themselves at her, because a lot of men are actually intimidated by women like that. So we just looking through a different lens. I don't see that from Jacqueline. She's not the villain here, and we'll get to the real villain.
So look, I'm glad you said that. Welcome back, Jen. Let's your background, Jen.
Just take me down. Just take me down.
All right, we'll take you. All right, we'll bring you back. All right, so what are we gonna do that? Okay, so
gotta love being live.
Gerard's parents, real quick. John Witherspoon, BB Drake. Is it BB Drake? Yeah, BB Drake. They provide a good moment where, and all these scenes were filmed after the movie was done, but they provide a great point where Marcus is heartbroken. Like, Jacqueline dogs Marcus, right? Marcus finds out that Jacqueline's selling his business because Stranger, we have the scene with Stranger at the restaurant. And so here we are with these classic Eddie Murphy table scenes. Like, this is probably the first Eddie Murphy table scene that we've got amongst his classic scenes, because you see Nutty Professor. And we have a moment where, like, me and my bro talk about this all the time, like facial expressions. Like, there's a lot of, like, David Alan Grier went to, I think, Yale or Harvard, one of those, like, acting schools. So he's a top tier actor. And that moment where they're at the table and, here we go again. They're trying to let you know Angela here, and we're getting, this is how we're getting to Angela. Angela is letting you know her and Gerard are just friends, no matter what. Like, he's like, Daddy, I told you we're just friends. Like, Angela, that was a weird way he said that. He talks about that. But anyways, the way Angela is emphasizing just friends, right?
Now, Marcus, I hear a girl dog got your pussy whipped. Why don't you reverse it? Don't be pussy whipped. Whip that pussy. Look. Bang, 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 bang.
Daddy, please. But anyway, here we go with Angela, right? And Sammy, me and you may be on the same wavelength of thinking here. Angela, early 30s. Angela still may be 29, almost on the borderline of 30s. That's where she is, right? She's the homie, super cool, right? Angela's one of those people who doesn't know how fine she is, because I feel like she's played the back seat to to Jacqueline a lot, right? And everybody, because Angela knows everybody goes after Jacqueline first. So Angela she just knows that she's not Jacqueline. Jacqueline is always kind of going to be the first one. And she says that when she first meet Marcus, she's trying to talk to Marcus, and Marcus is completely not paying her attention. And she's like, oh, you're interested in Jacqueline, because he asks about her. Right? So I don't think Angela knows how fine she is. Super talented. She's probably bailed Jacqueline out a lot of the time, like throughout work, because she's the creator. She's the creative mind, right? Jacqueline just has to put everything together and do the presentations. But Angela is the one who has to do the color schemes and design, and she's probably bailed Jacqueline out a few times, right? And again, she's accepting of her role as number 2. But, and I don't know if y'all paid attention to Angela's character throughout the movie. While innocent in most scenes, she is laying the bait throughout the whole movie that she is interested in Marcus. The whole movie, she is laying that bait down because let's go for it. Her and Marcus are on a plane on the way to New Orleans. First thing she tells Marcus is like, look, this is a sexy town. You and Jacqueline, when Jacqueline gets down here, y'all can do some things. And Marcus is like, huh? Why are you? Where did that come from? And Angela says it then. I like you. It's a harmless time she says it, but just let her know, I like you. Okay, cool. Following New Orleans, her and Jacqueline are in the office together. She asks Jacqueline, are the rumors true about Marcus? Now she's inquiring about Marcus again, crossing the line on the other side, laying the bait, taking notes. Right? She's waiting her whole time. She knows, she's smart. She knows what Jacqueline is going to do to Marcus. Hence, Jacqueline, whatever you're doing to Marcus, stop. Jacqueline's like, are you taking this personal? So she knows she's laying the bait the whole movie. She comes over, cooks Thanksgiving. She's taking Marcus to the little poor kids to do the art. Like she is putting herself in play. As soon as Jacqueline's out, she is pivoting herself as a power play. After Thanksgiving goes down, she stays the cook, clean. Then all of a sudden we're watching Captain Kirk. And Angela is the one who solidifies the move that Marcus make is good, right? She don't give a shit about Gerard. So here we are. Angela is, to me, probably, if you had to say villain, Angela is she's the one the whole time. She knows what's going to happen. Let's go ahead, Sammy. Thoughts?
She's the entire villain, first and foremost. I'd have to disagree with you saying like she don't know how fine she is. I definitely think she knew how fine she was. She was just sneaky. And she's also I'm with you placing her in a little younger age range. So she's probably still coming into her own, growing into what type of woman she wants to be. So I would place that there too. But she wasn't placing herself. She knew exactly what she was doing when she was telling him like, oh, it would be sexy in New Orleans if you took Jacqueline here. She knew Jacqueline was going to do that, man. And she knew the next day she was going to go ask Jacqueline how it was so she can, see what the test drive was about and then round him out. I feel like she was playing Jacqueline, like she was putting Jacqueline out as like the test piece. And then she was going to go do what she wanted to do. She had an eye on Marcus from the jump. She's definitely the villain. And I also don't like the way she played like her and Jacqueline were very close, like in the beginning. And even when they was talking about that night, testing him out. And then when Jacqueline kind of dumped Marcus, she was like, oh, don't do him like that. Don't do this. Well, what happened to your homegirl? I'm your homegirl, not him. What's going on? You really flipped the script. So she really played that villain. A lot of people said she was the cute little girl next door. Hell no, she the real bad bitch, and y'all got to pay attention.
Take over.
So I definitely think that Angela was around maybe 28, 29, right? She was in her career, but at that point, she was happy with what she was doing, her position. And she wasn't really looking to grow. That was the vibe that I got. It wasn't until she experienced that heartache dealing with Marcus and him going back and messing around with Jacqueline that she started to really gain confidence and say, I got to take care of me. I got to put myself first. But I never liked how she kind of played second fiddle. I feel like Marcus, deep down, he wanted Jacqueline. That was his perfection. And that And then when he, started dating or messing with Angela, and, she caught him off guard, and, she slapped him. Love should have brought you home last night. And then, that made him kind of had a change of heart. But I still feel that if Jacqueline didn't go as hard as she did, I think he still would have went with her. So to me, she was like that puppy dog. I think she was a little thirsty for Marcus.
The funny thing is, though, we never really understood what Marcus really wanted, right? And then we get to the fact when he got Angela out of nowhere, we didn't get a feet scene, right? He looked at everybody's foot in that movie. He didn't look at Angela's, and I think that was the changing of the guard of who Marcus really was. All right, E.
Yeah. I think Angela just saw the moment to take advantage of having information and also wanting something that she just wanted, right? Like, and call it a villain. I think that's definitely what she was, like, in the sense that she positioned herself to be in the right place at the right time to get what she wanted out of the relationship side, because clearly she wasn't trying to uptick her career, right, in the company. It was just really about catching like that moment of what it was. But anytime it's chitlin juice everywhere, and you got a pretty girl that's at the house, you probably are going to be on the couch watching Dr. Captain Spock and all that. But listen, I think ultimately, really with Angela, what we look at is maybe from a standpoint of she saw that Marcus was wanting to change and just really didn't. He was down. Like she really met him at the point where he knew, I can't play that role no more. I don't want to play that, because now it finally turned on me. And when she was like, well, if you don't want to do that no more, like this is where you need to be at. And he thought he can go back to the old lifestyle, but it was too late. You know what I'm saying? He got caught up. His nose was wide open for her and didn't realize that that's who really was going to complete him was Angela and not Jacqueline. Because I do believe that Jacqueline would have never really probably taken Marcus serious, because it would have been the next one up for her, whether it was that company or another person that maybe came into that role that Marcus was at. So, yeah.
And Angela tried to do to Marcus what Marcus tried to do to Jacqueline, is make a housewife, or just trying to turn somebody, you know what I mean. That she tried to, and it didn't work at first. But go ahead, CB. Thoughts on Angela?
First, bad. I want to take the angle that because it in general, in my opinion, attraction always starts physical, right? So we get that out the way. I believe that her character saw more in Marcus, like more so than what Jacqueline saw, you know what I mean? So I think there was something to that. And from an age standpoint, yeah, I would put her younger than most of the crew, still in her 20s. But she had that, that like cute artsy personality, like, hey, and it's one of those things where like girls, like, these women that we might say don't know how bad they are, like to some degree, like she had a confidence, you know what I mean? Like she didn't lack for that. And so, I ultimately, bro, I'd be happy to have a woman like Angela plotting on me, bro. Like, are you serious? Like, that's not a villain. That's a hero.
Jen, thoughts on Angela?
I've never thought about Angela the way y'all are saying this about Angela, the way some of y'all are saying this about Angela. I think Angela is probably about 35. I think they're all around the same age, because they're all kind of around the same levels in their career. I think that their relationship, to me, started organically because the way you do that is to grow from a friendship. I'm not saying she wouldn't have been physically attracted to Marcus, but also she knew Jacqueline. And I don't think she was necessarily trying to get in the middle of that. I think they really did have an organic friendship that grew. And then it went to something more. But now that y'all are saying that, I mean, I never thought about it like that. Maybe so. Y'all got me thinking about it differently.
And hold on. And let's hear from Angela real quick as she delivers probably another classic line from
certain
the movie.
things you just have no control over, all right?
Really? Like what?
Like love.
Love. You know, what do you know about love? What do you possibly think you know about love? You know, I'm sick and tired of men using love like it's some kind of disease you just catch. Love should have brought your ass home last night.
If I could cue to Tony Braxton right now, I would.
Mm-hmm.
I would.
It was even the lines after that, bro. When she hit him with the "You're sorry and you're tired," right? Because she was reading them at that point, and I think that was the fall off of like all that armor that he had as far as being a player, right? Like all of the stuff that he felt like can keep whatever away from him getting to him. In that moment, she just read him for what he was. But you know what? To Jen's point, though, me and the bro was talking about this. The younger us watching this didn't think Angela was that, but the older, once you kind of live life and you come across some people in your life, Angela does seem to be more of a villain if you kind of, when
she strategically placed herself in the situation she needed to.
Sure.
I think she only entertained Gerard to stay close or in on Noah Marcus. She just stay close.
I need Halle Berry to strategically place herself in my life. I need her to do that.
I never would have thought that. And y'all know that they queued it up. How do I say this? They made Jacqueline like the fierce, beautiful one, like sexy. And then they toned down Halle Berry in the movie and made her more cutesy and like wifey like. But yeah, I never thought about that the way y'all are saying that.
And last thing, bro, because we gotta say it. You gotta say it because I know you was about to say it. Angela had to be the villain because she still went after Marcus knowing that Gerard was his friend.
Yeah.
But I think when a woman friend zones you, you're friend zone. Like
no, but that's Marcus and Gerard are homeboys. So if Marcus tried to hook his homeboy up with the girl, you can't now.
But if she never slept with him. And and their relationship never progressed past friendship, then no, I don't.
And nobody called her a hoe either. I'ma just say that too, because when you stay in the same friend group, yeah, just a bit surprised and shocked.
So, and I'm gonna say, and then you see the transition of Angela's character to more of a Jacqueline character, damage, because she does become the top dog. She's more. At this point now, she's got the hair straight down. She's wearing black. She's not, the colors are non-existent. Like she becomes the Jacqueline character until Marcus comes back and softens her back up. But so we got a few minutes. We got to close up in like 10 minutes. So let's go around. What we like to do is like to rate the movie. Let me real quick. It's called Smoque and Spiel because we used to me and Big Mike used to have the hookahs out and just casually talking about movies and smoking hookah, talking music or whatever, and you can bring your cigars. But so we normally give everything like 1 out of 5 smoke rings or whatever. So 1 out of 5 being the best, we're gonna go around. What are you rating this movie, and is it a classic? So let's start with you, Sammy. 1 out of 5.
I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. And it is a classic to me.
Okay. Takeover.
I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. I remember being young watching it, and it's just as good when I was young as it is today. So,
okay, my bro E.
Just go ahead and put it up, bro.
Okay. You're right. Jen.
This movie will forever be in a Black movie canon. Definitely a 5. And it's funny because sometimes you go and you watch movies that you liked when you were younger and they don't age well. But this one, it's a 5.
All right, CB. Your first real stab at it.
Don't feel pressured. Don't.
I want to know where this landed for you, CB, because there's another movie we asked you to watch too. That maybe we'll do that one next.
I mean, that would be hilarious if that's how I get my homework done. I mean, it's a 5. This is a classic, and all the women in this movie are beautiful, bro. Like there's no reason for me to never not go back to this. Like, are you serious? Like, literally, y'all don't even let me talk about Layla Rashawn. Like, bad, So come on, bro. Yeah.
Another good reason to visit this movie is because the soundtrack, real quick. Soundtrack is amazing soundtrack on LaFace Records, pretty much done by Babyface and L.A. Reid. You got to listen to that. Maybe we can review that, or we can do a spotlight show on that. But classic soundtrack as well. Give You My Heart, amazing. You got the Johnny Gill, you got the Keith Washington. TLC is ready.
Boys to Men, End of the Road.
I Die Without You.
Oh, PM Dawn.
PM Dawn.
I mean,
that's it. You're right. Die Without You, PM Dawn. Thoughts on the soundtrack? Have y'all listened to it? Will y'all listen to it?
That's
I put the Keith Washington song to one of my posts on my Instagram story earlier today, bro.
I didn't rate it. Let me rate it. I'm gonna give it a 5. Obviously, this lives within the fabric of Black excellence in the culture.
Yeah.
Jen is definitely the culture. Shout out to Jen Glenn for the Culture Thursdays, 3rd Thursday of the month. Shout out to Sammy Slater, Baddie Behavior, 1st Thursday of the month, then Takeover Thursday, 2nd Thursday of the month. So we got 7 minutes. So if you had to recast this movie, first of all, if you had to redo this movie, are we doing a remake, or are we just doing another Boomerang, like a sequel? Are we remaking it, or are we giving you a part 2? What would you do, Sammy, or leave it alone?
I would suggest leaving it alone, but if I had to choose, I would say a sequel, not like a remake. Don't
take over.
Leave that be.
So I don't know. It was like 2019. They had Boomerang, the series on BET, and that was like Jacqueline's son and Marcus and Angela's daughter. That was on BET. So I think that it would be dope to do a remake, maybe have it produced by like Issa Rae, produced and written by her. And, I think that it would be cool just for the younger generation to kind of experience that same movie, but from, everything that's going on now.
Yeah. E?
I don't think it should be remade. It's a classic. I say leave it alone. However, I will say that if I had to answer the question on if they do it again, the fact that we still have a handful of the main characters, so like all 3 here, Gerard is still around, you know what I'm saying, like Tyler, those should be a part of them making how the sequel would be, right? Because they were in it, they kind of had the idea of what their characters were. And Eddie, just in itself, as far as like a movie producer, I think he would be probably good at probably producing this, but having the ladies be a part of who gets casted, I think if they go that route, it would be all right. But I leave it alone, leave it as a classic.
CB?
I definitely understand the sentiments of just leaving it alone. I think in general, Hollywood just needs to be more creative and come up with some new shit anyways. But I kind of echo the same sentiments as Trina. There was already the TV show that was supposed to be like the continuation. So like when I was going through this exercise, I was thinking about it if they were going to do like a remake and, just like a more modern take on it. That would be the way that like at least I've thought about it.
Okay. Jen.
Okay, I'm gonna go quickly. I don't think they need to do a remake. I think it was perfect the way it is. If you can't improve on it, why redo it? But I did think if we recasted it, let's just say like Marcus would be John David Washington, Denzel Washington's son. Mm-hmm. I think Angela would be Issa Rae, Jacqueline Zoe Kravitz, Tyler could be Derek Luke, and Gerard would be Donald Glover.
Okay.
I think he would make Gerard funny.
I think I wouldn't want to do. I'm torn. I wouldn't want to do a complete remake, but those characters could make sense. If you do a remake, maybe you could have Eddie Murphy and maybe Halle Berry play the parents in that role. Kind of, bring back some of the cast and recast them as some of the classic roles. But I wouldn't want to. I don't know if you could do a part 2. So it almost had to be like BET had a version of Boomerang that was nothing based on this. But I don't know if you could do a sequel because the sequels just don't really. What story can you tell 30 years later with these characters, right? Unless there's like it has to involve their kids. It almost feels that way. But all together, I mean, maybe just leave it alone. If it's not casted right, just leave it alone. Like you can't just remake anything. So, but I do have something how I want to close out real quick. If you got something, plug all your stuff where you can find you, Sammy, social media, everything. There you go. Oh, that's it.
Sammy Slated everywhere. Oh, well, except TikTok. Sammy Slated again.
All right. Takeover. Talk about your new segment real quick on Takeover Thursdays.
So it's called The Hot Seat, and that's where I like to put the fellas of We Are Something Else in the hot seat, and it's giving them a question that they have no idea what's coming. So catching them off guard, but we really want to genuinely hear their response, and we have a fun time.
All right, Jen, you'll go.
I have a show on Station Head called The Culture that I do every Thursday at 2 p.m. Central, and I am here with the WRSE podcast on Thursdays, and I bring a little bit of the culture to the guys.
Perfect. Shout out to everybody who's watching on YouTube live. A couple comments. We saw Dee Dee in there. Coach Kim was going crazy. Chauncey. Some good. Zoe Kravitz is Angela. Angela is Zendaya. Some good comments in there, and we got to figure out how to get them incorporated in there. Shout out to everyone who watched. This is how I want to close because we told them an hour and a half. So this is it. This is a story of how y'all never saw coming. This movie led to something. So here's my take. So we know Gerard's parents are, you know who they are. John Witherspoon, B.D. Drake. But anyways, we know his parents. But we also know his parents, right? What have we saw them in? They live next door to play. They live next door to play. So Gerard wasn't invited to the party. He was off at private school, right?
Yeah.
You know who was at that party that night? It was
Martin Lawrence.
It was Tyler, whose middle name, I think his real name is like Tyler. What was his name in House Party? Gerard?
Bilal.
Martin, whatever. So yeah, he's there that night, right? So picture this, he's there that night. So Tyler, who him and Gerard are best friends, and they also know Marcus. Later on in life, Marcus is like, "Oh, I want you to meet somebody because she's on my ass. I gotta get her off my ass." He introduces Yvonne to Tyler.
Yeah.
Oh my God. They realized they knew each other when they were kids because everybody wanted Sydney, right? Everybody wanted her, but Kid had already got married, played her off, and then they got together, and hence how Martin, the series was built.
Yep.
That's how we got Martin out of that. I said a lot. It's been an hour and a half, but look, we thank everybody for watching. We Are Something Else presents Smoque Spiel Bommerang. Thank you to the lovely Coach Kim, Chauncey Ebony at GenX TV. That's all we got, y'all. Peace. Good night.